Good morning to all of you out there. I'm Cito Beltran, and you are watching Agenda via Signal TV, channels 8 and 250, as well as facebook.com/OneNewsPH and on YouTube, OneNewsPH. Welcome to the program. It's a Monday, September 14, 2020, and today we are going to have a number of guests as always, and we will start with Attorney Midas Marquez, Supreme Court Administrator, because we need to find out about e-warrants. Apparently, things still go on even under COVID-19, and instead of a printed warrant, they're already talking about electronic warrants. What is this all about? We will also ask Justice, I don't know if he's, I think, well, anyway, Attorney Marquez. We will also ask him about all the other stuff happening at the Supreme Court, particularly regarding the anti-terror bill, why the Supreme Court decided not to carry on with the petition of the ABS-CBN regarding the NTC. Kasi si Attorney Makalintal, sinabi na even though it may seem moot, it is a point of law and it has to be addressed. In any case, after Attorney Marquez, Administrator Marquez, we will speak with Junn Magno of the Philippine National Railways. Baka magtataka kayo, bakit PNR? Tatanungin po natin because apparently the announcement of the DOTR, the Department of Transport, regarding the reduced distance of social distancing in public transportation has received mixed reviews. Most people thought, okay yan, okay yan. No, it's not okay because the public, the riding public, has inculcated, has absorbed, medyo kinakarir na nila yung social distancing. And suddenly, gagawin mong social distancing. So we will discuss that with Junn Magno in reference to trains. And then last but not the least, we will consult with Dr. Danilo Tuazon, Doc Dan, if you remember, is a psychologist, and we will ask him about pornography. Kasi, sasabihin, pornography? News ba yun? Alam niyo po, lagi na lang nababalita yung Pilipinas. We're always in the news as a top source for child porn. But no one is talking about porn in general, pornography in general, and the effects it has on families. I've given talks about this in some church meetings, and medyo I am shocked the minute I start asking the men to raise their hands or basically, close their eyes and admit whether or not they're involved, they engage in pornography. It will really shock you and disappoint you how prevalent pornography is in this day and age. In any case, we will discuss all of that with our guests, and of course, medyo susundot-sundot din tayo sa mga ibang balita and ibang topics here on Agenda. But in the meantime, let's go to the stories on the front page of the Philippine Star. U.S. Marine Lance Corporal Joseph Scott Pemberton has left the country yesterday, 6 years after killing Filipino transgender Jennifer Laude in Olongapo. Bureau of Immigration spokesperson Dana Sandoval said that the 25-year-old Pemberton was escorted by Bureau of Immigration personnel along with U.S. Embassy representatives. He boarded a U.S. military plane bound for the United States. President Rodrigo Duterte granted Pemberton absolute pardon after an Olongapo City Regional Trial Court ordered for his release, saying that Pemberton had already served his maximum jail term under good conduct time allowance credits. In a statement, Pemberton's lawyer, Rowena Flores, said her client expressed gratitude for the pardon while also expressing sympathy for the Laude family. And yan po, no, kung nagtataka kayo, if you're wondering, why is Pemberton or the story of Pemberton front page, does it really merit headline, banner headlines, etc.? Kasi yan po yung nasa Philippine Star. Ayan, ano? Pemberton leaves PH. And, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Over there, okay, there, is the statement of Pemberton where through his lawyer, where he expressed gratitude and he apologized or expressed his how do you call it, regret, if not repentance, for the pain he caused them. Now, why is Pemberton on the front page? And at least up to now, up to today, and then tomorrow wala na po kasing balita. Sawang-sawa na ang mga tao sa COVID-19. And in fact, I just received a call from my wife who said, you know, she watched the news in Holland, in the Netherlands, and she noticed that there was not a single mention of COVID-19. Kumbaga doon, hindi balita. Dito, buhay natin, kinakarir natin yung COVID. So that is why Pemberton is on the front page. Now, just a commentary here. You know, while Pemberton was being taken from Camp Aguinaldo to the airport, I believe, to the BI, nagkaroon na naman daw po ng motorcade. At least that is according to the reports we heard and we received. Kumbaga, no, nagkahabulan na naman yung media, etc., papuntang airport. And I'm afraid that one day, someone is going to get seriously hurt in these chases. Okay, this scoop mentality, this trying to catch. I mean, tinransfer lang yung preso sa airport. Nako, akala mo kung ano nang balita. And one day, someone is going to get seriously hurt, just like what happened in the United Kingdom, where Princess Diana got killed because of some photographers chasing her vehicle. And I think this is something that our friends in media need to discuss, especially the leaders of the news groups and the reporters groups themselves, because while I understand the traditional concept of chasing after the news, it worries me that sometime, somewhere in the future, it may lead to a fatal accident, and ultimately it will be declared illegal. In any case, moving forward, Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara has expressed optimism that Task Force PhilHealth would be able to meet today's deadline and submit to President Duterte its report on the anomalies of the state-run insurer. Guevara said their report will attempt to present both the general environment at PhilHealth, which enables corruption, and specific instances where such acts took place. The task force finished its hearing on the anomalies inside PhilHealth early last week, talking to 12 witnesses and resource persons aside from requiring various documents. So, ayan po, ibibigay na kay Presidente Rodrigo Duterte yung mga nakalap na impormasyon nitong task force and yung kanilang recommendation. And what can we say about it? Tagal naman. Ang tagal na niyan. What's that? About 3 to 5 years running na alam naman ng mga tiga-media, ng publiko na may corruption dyan. Yung iba nga nagsasabi, 10 years running na yan eh. Nagkabistuhan na yan 10 years ago pa. In any case, that's good. That's good that it's being submitted to the President today. The question is, will it be made public? Can Congress or will the DOJ make this public o mababauna naman to sa limot? Kasi ang worry po natin, what we are worried about is And I'm sorry, I'm just going to put this there, okay? We know how much the president trusts Secretary Duque and believes in Secretary Duque. And Secretary Duque is the linchpin in all of this. Kumbaga, no, siya yung pinupunteriya, siya yung nasa sentro. Kasi siya yung chairman of the board. Okay? In any case, ang tanong dito ngayon, ilalantad ba ito ng DOJ at ng Malacanang? Will this document be made public so that the people will actually know how corrupt officials all over PhilHealth are taking advantage of their position and robbing us blind or stealing us blind? Okay, so we just hope that some of our friends in Congress or whoever will make an effort to find a way to make this report public in the near future para hindi natin pinagtatalunan yung social distancing sa tren. Kasi social distancing sa tren o sa bus, pwede natin gawa ng remedyo. Itong nagkakanakawan ng bilyon, hindi po biro yan. And the third news article, Interagency Task Force Vice Chairman and Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles assured the public that health measures will be strictly enforced in public transportation after the government has allowed the reduction of physical distancing between passengers. Nograles said the adjustments are carefully calibrated and that they will add new health protocols to ensure rider safety. The Transportation Department has earlier said that this step allows public utility vehicles to accommodate more passengers, thus helping in the economic recovery of the country amidst this pandemic. We will speak with General Manager of the Philippine National Railways, Junn Magno, to discuss the implementation of the reduced physical distancing in trains. In the meantime, ang masasabi ko lang po dyan sa decision na yan ng gobyerno, well, we'll clarify. I don't know if it's in the realm of Junn Magno, but I know from several sources, marami po, there are so many buses that are not running, whether they are commuter, public transport, or whether they are shuttle services. Meron kasi ako mga tao, mga supplier natin sa pag-restore ng kotse nung nakaraan, who told me, Kuyang, bangkarote kami. Anong bangkarote? Yung mga kliyente namin na binebentahan ng pyesa ng mga bus companies, walang tumatakbo. So, tulog sila, talo kami. In any case, ito po, no? So, there have been suggestions. Why not increase the number of vehicles but do not decrease the social distancing factor? Kasi sa ngayon po, okay, at the moment, many employers I've spoken to have expressed one thing in common. They are afraid when their employees take the bus or a jeepney or commute. In fact, I wrote it on my column and I've said it here on the program. One of my friends is actually instituting a policy, okay? What he requires his employees to have their own bicycles or motorcycles. Hindi ka pwede nagko-commute papasok sa opisina o pauwi sa inyo kasi ang punto niya, pag nag-bus yan, Kuyang, talo na tayo dyan. Talo na kasi malamang at malamang may mako-COVID. And apparently, they've had some basis, not science, but basis to suspect that is the case. So maybe we should focus more on individual motorcycles, bicycles, para lang makakommute ang tao. And we will find out later. And all mayors in Metro Manila have agreed to close cemeteries within their jurisdiction during the Undas or the observance of All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day come November. Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA General Manager Jojo Garcia said the mayors have made their decision through their chat group. They are now set to meet to finalize the guidelines on the closure of cemeteries. Manila, under Mayor Isko Moreno, was the first to ban visitors in public and private cemeteries from October 31 to November 3. Ayan po, no? Hindi ba sinabi ko na yan last week pa ba yun or more than a week ago na yan na nga ang mangyayari na magsasara talaga yan because by and large, it's just impossible. Doon nga in the past years, di ba, meron ng mga gate, may mga police, may mga inspection, etc. Pagkatas may mga pasaway, maglalagay pa ng hagdanan doon sa pader para lang makatawid, makapasok doon sa mga punerarya, doon sa sementeryo, sementeryo. So we will find out, but I just hope that people don't do what we are prone to do in the Philippines para maiwasan yung ban, magdadagsaan 1 week before. Tingnan natin kung paano ipapatupad yan ng MMDA. Okay, let's go to our first interview. He is currently the longest serving Supreme Court Administrator kasi magaling eh. He was also a former spokesperson of the High Court. Pag-uusapan namin yung e-warrants to PNP arresting officers, yung bail sa etc. Kausapin natin si Attorney Midas Marquez. Sir, good morning, sir.
Magandang umaga, Cito. Magandang umaga sa mga ating nakikinig at nanonood.
Mukhang high school look talaga tayo ngayon, ha? walang pagupitan, ha, attorney?
Takot lang magpagupit kasi almost every day I get to see the Chief Justice. Nakakaya baka ako pa makahawa sa kanya.
Ayun, oh. Any case, sir, thank you for joining us this morning and natutuwa naman ako na ayos ang kalagayan mo at ang kalagayan ng mga kasama natin dyan sa Supreme Court. Ano po ba itong, what is this e-warrant all about and what warranted it? Sorry for the pun, pero parang sabi ko, e-warrant. Can you give the public a better understanding?
Well, e-warrant actually is a joint project of the Supreme Court and the Philippine National Police. This will pave the way for a more immediate and effective implementation or service of warrants. Pag sinabi nating service, yung ini-implement yung mga warrants of arrest na the courts are issuing. What happens here is when a court issues a warrant, instead of physically issuing, printing it from the computer, and then the judge signing it, the judge or the court official, once a warrant has to be issued, the court will access a database, and then maglalagay doon ng access a database, and then will input all the details, the data, and then upon with a click of a button, this warrant will go to the database, and then pupunta rin to doon sa ang dalawang primary the two areas or two police stations which have primary responsibility of serving the warrant is number one, the police station which has jurisdiction over the place where the residence of the accused is, and then the second is the police station which has jurisdiction over the location or the area where the crime was committed. Halimbawa, case is filed in Pasig City. When we launched it, we actually used Pasig City. So let's say a case was filed in Pasig City, and the case is for, let's say, syndicated estafa.
Okay.
So the case definitely, most probably, will be or the crime was committed in Pasig City. So Pasig City, maraming police station yan, maraming siguro mga districts. So pupunta yung when the court issues or inputs all the data needed in the database and then clicks that button, that arrest warrant will go to that police station in Pasig City, which has jurisdiction over where the crime was committed, no? The place where the crime was committed. And then the second location na pupuntahan yan, yung address ng akusado. So if the accused, let's say, resides in Antipolo or in Baguio or even in Mindanao, no, Cagayan de Oro, that arrest warrant, no, will go to that police station. So right away, those two police stations, no, can serve the warrant. Now, whichever of the police stations, no, is able to serve the warrant, mag-i-input din yan doon sa same database. So right away, makikita na ng korte at ng mga police stations kung yung akusado ba ay naaresto na or hindi pa. So yung ano nun, yung updating, no, will be real-time updating. And then right away, we will see how many of the warrants issued by our courts have been served or have not been served. And that status, no, will remain pending in that database until it is updated by whoever is able to serve the warrant. So basically ganon, ano. Hindi katulad ng what we have now, no, yung manual issuance. The court will just issue it doon lang sa isang police station, and then hindi na natin alam kung ano mangyari until a policeman, a personnel of the PNP will make or will file a tinatawag nating return to the court. No? So pag hanggang hindi nagpa-file ng return, hindi natin alam kung anong nagiging status ng warrant na yon. So hindi rin naman kung ilan ba yung mga warrants na na-serve or hindi pa na-serve.
So under this electronic or e-warrant system, the courts, the Supreme Court, the trial courts have a way of keeping track. Ilan na bang binibigay ng judge na yan, warrant of arrest? Yung mga search warrants ba, Attorney Marquez, kasama dyan?
Arrest warrants lang to, arrest warrants.
Okay. Why the distinction, Attorney?
Well, iba kasi yung iba kasi yung treatment natin sa mga search warrants, no? Yung search warrants, you have to apply for that. The arresting officer or the peace officer will have to go to court and apply for an for a search warrant. Meron tayong tinatawag na mga searching questions, ganyan, no? Before the court will issue the search warrant. Sa arrest warrant, once a criminal case is filed in court, no, all the judge has to do is go over the information filed by the prosecutor and the attached documents. And from there, the judge can determine if there is probable cause, mag-i-issue na ng warrant yan, ng arrest warrant.
So, okay. Kasi na-realize ko lang, no? So, kailangan bang so automatic na on the part of the judge to issue a warrant of arrest or arrest warrant, pagkatapos electronically transmitted na lang ito to the jurisdiction where the crime took place, to the residence of the accused party, and if the accused party in a secondary location or in a different address, a similar copy of that warrant of arrest will be transmitted to the police in control or command of that area.
Well, to your first question, kung automatic ba yun, the answer is yes. No? So, ang proseso kasi sa korte, let's say merong isang a crime was committed, no? So nag-imbestiga yung mga police, and then the police will file this before the fiscal's office, no? And then the fiscal's office, pag-aaralan kung meron talagang probable cause, i-file yung information sa korte. So once the information is filed in court, no? Kahit wala doon yung fiscal, wala doon yung police, kahit wala doon yung akusado, an information is filed in court together with the attached documents, no? The court will go over this information and the supporting documents, and if the court believes that there's probable cause, automatically it will issue a warrant of arrest. Now, that warrant of arrest, as I've mentioned, sabi mo nga, no, pupunta yan sa dalawang lugar, no, yung where the crime was committed and the residence of the accused. Now, yun lang yung, doon lang yun, primary, because those two police stations have primary responsibility, no, to make the arrest. Now, if the if the warrant is not served, meaning no arrests have been made, pumunta doon yung police sa residence, hindi nakita doon yung akusado, pumunta yung police where the crime was committed, hindi nakita yung akusado, then that warrant will remain pending in the database, no? And let's say, katulad ng example natin, the crime was committed in Pasig, and then the accused is residing, let's say, in Cagayan de Oro City, hindi pareho nakita doon. And then later on, may yung Baguio Police in Baguio, may nakatanggap ng tip na merong isang tao na nagtatago doon and nasa pending warrant of arrest. So ang gagawin ng Baguio Police Station, it will access the database, hahanapin niya yon, makikita niya yon, and then pag nakita niya yun, na-verify niya it is the same person, then that Baguio Police Station can serve the warrant of arrest.
Okay. Going back to the other, kasi sabi nyo nga, maganda ito, pero yan ba may time limit ba yung mga warrants of arrest na yan? O meron ba yung, anong tawag ninyo dyan, yung parang may prescription period, etc.?
Well, technically, walang prescription period ang prescriptive period ang warrants of arrest, no? Hanggang hindi yan nasa-serve, that can be served by any peace officer. In some cases, when an arrest warrant cannot be served, the case in court is what we call archived, no? Ina-archive yan.
Okay.
But pag makita yung pag merong information that the accused is in a particular situation, is in a particular location, then all the fiscal has to do is move that the case be active and what you call an alias warrant be issued. Yan yung ginagawa nung kung wala pang e-warrant, no?
Okay.
But typically, once a warrant has been issued and it has not been served, it does not prescribe, no? So it can be served by any police officer.
Okay. Next topic, attorney, kasi a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago actually, si Attorney Makalintal ba, yung sa Senior Citizens League, meron siyang nilabas na press release where he was questioning, I don't know if he was questioning, he was or suggesting that the Supreme Court should reconsider its stand. Yung bang kaso ng ABS-CBN versus NTC, final nila noon na dapat magkaroon ng restraining order, pero everything became, as they say, moot and academic dahil nagtuloy-tuloy na yung cancellation ng franchise ng ABS-CBN. But Attorney Makalintal's point was, this is a question of law. Parang china-challenge kung dapat ba does the NTC have the power, did it abuse its power, etc. Parang sa kanya, moot or academic or hindi pa rin sinagot ng Supreme Court yung katanungan or yung pinipresenta ng ABS-CBN. What was the reason why the Supreme Court simply say, tapos na yan hindi na kaso yan, even though there was a question of law?
Well, Cito, actually, I'm no longer the spokesman of the court, no? And I don't have any...
No, I'm sorry. You don't have to answer, no? It's just kasi parang napag-usapan namin yon, and I was wondering about it. So I don't know if you care to answer or you shouldn't.
What I know is sabi mo nga, no, that case has already been dismissed by the court, no, for being moot and academic. So if Attorney Makalintal thinks that the court should decide it, no, kahit na tapos na yung issue, then siguro he can file a motion for reconsideration and put there the grounds, no, indicate the grounds why he thinks that even if the issue is already moot, still the court should lay down the grounds why the case should be dismissed.
Okay. In any case, baka ma-trespassing ka na kasi tatanong ko sana yung tungkol dun sa mga petitions naman sa anti-terror law kung ano na nangyari, kung nadagdagan ba o ina-actionan na.
Well, I think yung huling bilang doon, more than 30 petitions na, no, by different individuals. Yeah, it's still pending. Oh. So, ang pagkaalam ko lang doon, it is always being included in the agenda of the court whenever the court and bank meets. No? So, pinag-uusapan nila yun.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Attorney Marquez, and at least naliwanagan natin yung e-warrants na yan kasi baka akala ng mga tao na dahil lang nagka-COVID-19, wala na yung mga warrant of arrest na yan at walang gumagalaw sa Supreme Court. Thank you very much, Attorney.
Ay, maraming salamat din at mabuhay po kayo.
Okay, that's Supreme Court Administrator Attorney Midas Marquez, and I respect the fact that he knows his territory, he knows his parameters, and sabi nga niya hindi siya ang spokesperson, which is true kasi pinagdidebatihan yun yung kahit okay mo academic na namatay na yung tao, pero yung tanong sa batas, tama ba yung pagpapatupad ng batas o pagkakaintindi ng batas? In any case, we will go for a quick break, and when we return, we go to our other interviews and our other topics here on Agenda. Welcome back to the program Agenda. I'm Cito Beltran. And just before we start our next interview, allow me to read some of the briefing materials. The DOTR will begin implementing relaxed physical distancing rules in public transportation starting today, September 14. Last Friday, Transportation Secretary Arthur Tugade announced that the IATF had approved the proposal pushed by the Economic Development Cluster, or EDC, and the DOTR to increase ridership in public transportation by optimizing or reducing the physical distance between commuters. The DOTR said that from 1 meter, the distance, it will be optimized to 0.75 meters beginning Monday. It could be further reduced to 50 cm or 0.5 meters after 2 weeks, and to 0.3 meters after another 2 weeks. Okay. For his part, PNR General Manager Junn Magno presented the adjusted passenger capacity of railway lines based on reduced physical distancing per train set. So, ating tanungin, ang General Manager of the Philippine National Railways. Prior to his appointment in 2017, Magno was an entrepreneur who handled an engineering and consulting firm that caters to the telecom industry. Okay, let's speak to GM Junn Magno. Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Cito.
Okay.
Magandang umaga sa katapos-reading.
Sana naman maganda yung pakiramdam mo. Parang mabigat yung... Ako, sinisipon ako.
Hindi, okay na ako. I was one of the first actually na nagka-COVID last March. Isa ako sa nagkaroon yan. Kaya alam ko yung pakiramdam yan. I was in the hospital for 27 days.
Aray ko po. Thank God that you survived, and I hope you've recovered, because some of my friends didn't make it, unfortunately. In any case, GM Junn, paki-explain naman, ano ba itong nangyayari? Kasi mukhang nagkakainitan, may mga naprapraning, may mga nagtataka. What is the idea and what is the direction on all of this readjustment of social distancing?
It's really simple. Una-una, yung 1 meter social distancing is in between two persons na healthy, na wala silang mga mask. Kung wala silang mitigation sa isa't isa, they should keep their distances 1 meter. Sometimes mas mataas pa sa ibang jurisdictions. However, kung may mitigations ka, pwede mo naman ilapit sila ng konti. And then the reason behind this is kahit wala pa nga yung pandemic, meron na tayong capacity issue sa public transport system natin. However, ngayon, dahil may pandemic, we are only utilizing 20% of the existing capacity. So kahit ilabas na natin lahat ng bus, lahat ng train, pag binuksan natin yung economy, kulang tayo more than 400-600% in capacity. So ibig sabihin yan, the investment we made the past 10 years, we have to do it in a year. So yun yung position lang po ng EDC dyan. Kaya yun po yung directive sa amin, it's to optimize capacity. Ngayon, hindi naman kami nangingi ng mataas. Ang other rail jurisdictions and bus jurisdictions in other, kinausap namin sila, tinignan namin yung data nila, they went all the way to 50% ang capacity. Ang sa amin, hindi namin hinihingi yun. Ang hinihingi namin 0.75, 0.5 up to 0.3, which is corresponding to 25%, 35%, all the way to 43% lang. Hindi nga namin hinihingi 50% na on other rail jurisdictions, di ba?
Yeah. Ngayon, pasensya ka na, no? Kasi hindi naman ako commuter, pero I have to voice the sentiments of the commuters, no? May mga nagsasabi na, paano na yan? Nag-iingat nga kami. Paano nyo masisiguro na hindi tayo magkakahawahan sa bus at lalo na sa train? Kasi I know that under your management and under the administration, medyo na-improve naman. I mean, to be fair, maraming improvement. Kanya lang, talagang para tayong buto ng pakwan sa isang supot, dikit-dikit lahat. So how are you going to ensure that this doesn't happen, that we don't have an outbreak?
Unang-una, we did the simulations all the way to 0.25, not even 0.3. Ang worst case scenario na kita namin with the mitigations is 0.13%. That's like 13 out of 10,000. So ibig sabihin, kung if we work within those numbers, mako-contain namin kung any possible outbreak without any external without any external mitigation. Tapos wala ka pang ang assumptions were worst case is every 2 persons, isa doon may COVID-19 and manghahawa siya. And we only got a figure 0.13. Yung pinapakita mo yung figures, yan actually yung ng simulation na we have the other simulation videos pa na nakita namin what we put chalk in their hands and everything. Doon namin nalaman na dapat di mo hawakan yung mukha mo, walang cross-contamination, walang exposure sa kung meron na po kaming mga ginawang mga studies dyan. Yan po yung data namin. Kaya alam po namin na mababa yung ng exposure. Ngayon, bago ka pumasok, unang-una, yung 1 meter social distancing, ino-observe pa rin naman. Tapos, mandatory na namin na maghugas ka ng kamay. Tapos pagkatapos mo maghugas ng kamay with the strong detergent, nire-require namin na mag-foot bath ka pa. Anuhin namin yung paa mo. Bago ka pumasok, 1 meter distancing. Pagdating lang naman sa loob ng tren. Ngayon, yung tren, pinabibilis namin yung biyahe para yung exposure nyo sa isa't isa, hindi rin tatagal. Tapos nakaharap lang kayo in one direction as much as possible.
Okay, now, will there be marshals? Will there be monitors para mabantayan to, or puro ito electronically done with CCTV, etc.?
Kailangan may physical marshal. So in every train coaches namin, hindi lang po sa PNR, pati sa MRT, LRT, maglalagay kami ng marshal to implement this na susundin nila yung mga patakaran.
Okay, now, is it still commercially viable? Kasi, okay, na-increase mo, sabihin na natin, nag-increase ka lang to X%, pero lugi ka pa rin.
Siyempre, lugi pa rin kami. Talagang ganon. Yun yung issue. The issue is, actually, there's unused capacity. And most of these systems has been, yung business case nila, is based on 100% or even 120% of capacity. So talaga pupunuin mo para kumita yung So either yung sa mga government na systems, wala, no choice kami. We have to run it. Pero hindi naman 14% lang ang kinakarga namin. I-optimize naman natin ng konti. Kung may mapipiga pa tayo, ipiga natin dahil taxpayers burden yung na yan eh. Yung unused capacity na yan. And just imagine kung order ka ng train or bus, it would take 1 year to 2 years bago ma-deliver yan. So anong gagawin natin? The economy would wait for the additional capacity for another year or 2 para lang natin we could reboot the economy. So we have to find the balance. Hindi naman pwede rin na isang side lang ang pakinggan natin. For us, sa amin sa DOTR, actually ang inaano nga ni Secretary Tugadi is 0.5, but we came into collective decision and nag-agree naman si Secretary. Sabi namin, sir, gusto mo proportional tayo 0.75, 5, tapos 0.3. Dahan-dahan po natin. Tapos kung tingin natin may possible na na contamination talaga, i-atras lang natin, di ba? So which is yun naman yung strategy namin that we are implementing.
Okay, GM Junn, how are you going to go about in the monitoring of your passengers? Kasi in other countries I've gone to, meron yung travel card. Tapos sa mga ibang agency, meron namang ito na itong kainis. May travel card. And in some of the facilities, meron talagang information tungkol for contact tracing. Dito kasi I support, no? I support na sige, kung kailangang damihan ng pasahero, okay lang. Pero yung sinasabi nga ni Carlo Nograles, hindi nyo naman to bibiglain na bubuksan nyo na lang, bulwakan na, no? Dahan-dahan. But we need to have some scientific way of monitoring who rode, who always rides, and what are their status? Mayroon ba kayong monitor or survey?
Actually, incidentally, last year, Philippine National Railways, kasi lagi binabangga maraming aksidente sa rail tracks namin, we implemented actually an artificial intelligence infrastructure, part of digitalization initiative ni Secretary Tugade. So bumili na yung PNR. Incidentally rin, yung system na binili namin, which is a Canadian-based company, ang naging ang naging direction nila pagdating ng COVID is meron silang mga contract tracing na tawag dito na system. So actually yung contact tracing sa amin, it will be online this week. Hindi na kailangan ng card, kailangan na lang yung externalities sa labas, which is gagawin ng QR code based. Pero pagdating sa loob, kung sino nakatabi mo, sino nakahawak mo, automatically yung artificial intelligence infrastructure madidetect niya. As a matter of fact, pinag-uusapan namin sa road sector and aviation sector, magko-co-share na kami ng system para dun sa data, para dun sa massive contact tracing. Ginagawa na po ng yan. That's part of the digitalization effort ng Department of Transportation.
So paano yan, GM Junn? Would it be like an airplane where if I get a ticket, I have an assigned seat, alam ko na kung sino yung mga katabi ko?
The video would tell us sinong katabi mo, sinong nakahawak mo. We could call it. Kasi before, yung CCTV-based system, may tao ka nakabantay, di ba? Ito, there's actually a machine that tracks down sinong katabi mo, sinong humawak sa'yo and everything, sinong naka-face mask, hindi naka-face mask, ano yung temperature niya. So, we only ask the AI platform, sinong nakasalamuha ng taong to dahil nag-positive to, sabi ng DOH, panyari. So, we can backtrace and backtrace kung sino yung contact niya, malalaman namin kung ano yung mga contacts niya. Then i-apply namin yung yung tawag nila infection vector, which is duration times time of exposure. So yung sinasabi nga nila, if less than 1 meter, 15 minutes tapos infected, then most probably you're suspected, parang gano'n. So i-apply lang din yung mga algorithms na yun.
Okay.
Namin, we cannot do it this manually. Ang hirap, napaka-massive ng problema.
Ilan na ba pasahero ninyo ngayon compared to the past, pre-COVID?
Pre-COVID, supposedly nasa 70,000 na kami. We bought new trains. Ito yung mga bagong trains namin. Actually, to go to up to 100 to 120,000. However, yung corridor na that we serve, we are the long commuter kasi we are heavy rail. We have our corridor needs 200,000 ang demand po sa amin. Pero ngayon, we're only carrying 20. Nagkaka-congestion pa kami. Tapos inaaway pa kami minsan ng mga pasahero namin. There were 3 instances na umulan. Nagpakuha ako ng extra train, nakiusap na lang ako sa mga tao, sige, dagdagan natin ang biyahe. Pinakain ko yung mga pasahero dahil talagang maiiwan sila. Pag kinut off ko sila, saan sila pupunta? Nakikiusap na iba na matutulog na lang sila sa station. Sabi ko, judgment call na to. Magdagdag ng biyahe, paano yun natin? So, there is demand na rin. Ngayon, kung matatakot naman sila dahil doon sa social distancing, wala namang problema, huwag sila sumakay, 'di ba? Pero ang inaano lang namin, there's an avenue for you para balik mo yung kabuhayan mo. And public transport system, that's the oil of the economy. It's really important.
As far as PNR is concerned, what are your routes or destinations? Kasi alam mo, aaminin ko na, ang hirap nitong naka-home quarantine na senior, hindi mo na alam kung ano nangyayari sa mundo. So, hindi ko na alam kung saan na mga biyahe ng PNR, pinapayagan pa ba kayo o kasi ang pagkaintindi ko, kada bayan ngayon may checkpoint na, kada bayan meron ng mga COVID test, etc. What about PNR?
PNR, we run from Malabon to Calamba. That's the current commuter service. Meron din kaming Sipokot to Naga na service. Although buo pa naman yung line from Malabon all the way to Legazpi. Ang problema lang namin, napaka-konti nung trains na available. In Metro Manila alone, kulang na kulang yung trains. So that's why we're operating lang hanggang Malabon to Calamba. So we're actually the cheapest na commuter service. We are only charging 1 peso 15 cents per kilometer. Sa tanong mo kanina, mention mo tungkol dun sa bus. Kung gagamitin yung bus sa amin, the bus cannot compete with us. Kahit ilagay namin sila at 20% capacity at 1 peso 15 cents per kilometer. the train is still the cheapest.
Okay, so Kalamba, Malabon to Kalamba, and then Sipoko to Naga baka mo.
Yes.
Okay. Pero what about health concerns? Wala namang pumuputok na issue regarding the Kalamba Malabon route kasi may pag kinakausap ko naman yung mga health experts, sinasabi nila yung last na pinroblema nila was the Kalamba area, yung mga factories, etc.
Walang unang-una inaano namin diyan, ini-interview namin yung mga pasahero namin. Meron kaming single symptom no ride. Pag meron kang symptoms, nakikita ka pa lang, we reject them agad regardless kung may ano ka. At pangalawa, yung ano namin temperature check namin mas stringent pa. Our threshold is actually 37.8. And ang reason behind that is kung nagte-38 ka, nasa bingit ng kamatayan nga na pag may COVID-19 ka. I should know. So kaya pinababa ko yung threshold namin 37.8, 37.6 para so ang dami naming mitigation, walang nakakalusot. As a matter of fact, nung magkaroon ng outbreak sa ibang rail networks, kami yung tumulong sa kanila and they followed some of our protocols, internal protocols, dahil mas nauna kaming dahil nga the experience, dahil yung head of agency nagkaroon ng COVID-19. So mas maganda yung appreciation namin initially as early as March and April pa.
Paano naman yung mga staff nyo? Kasi yung mga ibang government agencies sa pool, yung sa MRT ba yun? Maraming, di ba, nag-shutdown pa sila dahil nagkaawahan, etc. What is being done by the PNR as far as, health protocols are concerned and protecting their employees?
Nag-segregation and nag-sectioning kami. Ito magandang galing sa private sector. In private sector, meron tayong business continuity procedures. When I came into PNR, actually, isa yun sa mga in-implement ko before we obtained our ISO 9001 na certification. So when we run the BCP program na lagi namin, even in the private sector, you segregate the people and put them into clusters. So ganoon ang mangyayari kung merong probable symptoms pa lang, hindi positive, symptoms pa lang, we treat it as if there is an outbreak. 2 symptoms, we consider it as a probable outbreak. Na kagad yung premises nila, itetest na agad lahat ng tao na yon. Hindi namin aantayin. Wala lang high, low, moderate. Na lang yan, low and high na lang yan. Yung moderate part, yun yung yun yung flaky na part ng protocol Tinanggal na namin yun so para hindi magkaroon ng outbreak. Successful naman kami. So far, wala kaming outbreak. Meron kami na-detect ng COVID-19 pero hindi nakakapasok sa premises namin. And it would not transmit to our employees and to our passengers.
What about, go ahead.
Actually, din sa LSI, yung Hatid Probinsya program, we were the ones na nakapaghatid kami ng more than 1,000 passengers. Merong mga nag-positive pagdating dito pero walang na-infect sa mga tao namin, wala ring cause of infection within sa mga pasahero na namin. Mas na binitbit namin that we carried. And because yun nga effective naman yung yung mga mitigations
Okay. Paano naman yung disinfection ng mga carriage ninyo? Kasi kanina may nakita ko may aling may dalang walis Palagay ko lumang video na yun ngayon ba, puro ba misting, power spray ba ngayon? Paano bang ginagawang disinfection?
Ang disinfection namin is total wipe down every half loop. Hindi nga one loop Before, every night lang i-disinfect yung train. Ngayon, binaba namin to yung nakita mong video, that's every loop. Ngayon, ang inutos ni Secretary Tugade, every half loop. So kada kalahating loop, we wipe down the whole namin na chlorine-based na na recommended na disinfectant, and then we wipe it down. Pagkatapos noon, yun na it's a sterilized environment na. Then reset na naman yung yung 0.13. So yun lang inaano namin na hindi statistically kasi wag mo paabutin sa 10,000 para hindi ka magkaroon ng 1.3 incidents. Yun lang percent incidents. So yun lang inaano namin. So before it even reaches 10,000 na binitbit niya yung train, inaano na namin, dinidisinfect na namin.
Okay, and in terms of cost, is this costing you an arm and a leg? Kasi in the past, yun naman lagi ang problema ng PNR, di ba? Parang kokonti ang pondo, hindi enough ang binibigay sa kanilang allocation, pagkatapos luma ang mga train. Ngayon, puro ka na bago ang train. Ang problema, hindi mo mapunuan ng pasahero dahil sa COVID, tapos high maintenance pa. Naku, kasakit siguro ng ulo mo being general manager.
Actually, ang sama nga ng loob ko, this year, programa ko to ever since I joined na I would turn in a profit for PNR and mag-ano kami, magdi-dividend kami sa national government. First time in 50 years. However, walang mangyaring ganun dahil lahat nung maipon namin for the past 2 years, wala, uubusin na itong COVID-19. Pero public service naman to and dapat hindi hinayangan yun. I-ano natin, isoli natin sa taong bayan anong gusto ng taong bayan. We are the cheapest service. We have one of the biggest trains now. We have the pinakabagong mga train and we have the cleanest. And at the same time, ginagawa rin namin yung Calamba to Capas na North-South Commuter Railway Project that's still under me. Then we're rehabilitating the PNR Bicol. Yung train system from Calamba to Matnog, which is from 23-24 hours, we will cut it down to 5 hours na lang. So ang dami at the same time. So it's like one person nag-aalaga ng 100 cats.
Okay. Pero ang tanong, what's the ongoing state now? Tuloy pa rin ba ang excuse me, procurement ng mga trains? Kasi nagka-momentum ka na eh. People were liking it already, supporting it, may Facebook presence na kayo. Ano ito? Stop the ball muna o pwedeng ituloy?
Hindi mo pwedeng stop the ball because you always project capacity, you always project service level 5 years from now. Dahil I came from the IT telecoms industry. Everything changes every 18 months. Dito sa railway and transport industry, everything changes every 25 years. So imbis na we're planning the next 3 months, we're planning the next 5 years. So from a planning perspective, iba yung you have to medyo i-foresight mo ano nangyayari sa 5 years. Sa 5 years, ang COVID is actually an aberration only. So yun yung challenge mo doon eh. You have to look at this as an aberration. The capacity build-up will still be there dahil lumalaki pa rin yung population eh. Tapos nagiging greater capital region na tayo, hindi na tayo nagiging greater Manila area. So yun ang nakikita namin, yun yung pinoprogram namin. As a matter of fact, yun yung purpose ng build eh. To anticipate the greater capital region, which is compressing Tarlac, Pampanga, Bulacan, Laguna, and Batangas, Cavite to greater Manila area now.
Is there any involvement or inputs from local governors and legislators para magkaroon ng sariling setup, rail setup yung kanilang mga provinces? Kasi parang yun lang ang nakikita kong paraan para mag-alisa na ng mga tao sa Metro Manila at mabuhay na. Katulad yung ginagawa mong sa Kapas, yung ginagawa mong sa Naga. I can imagine people will simply start saying, hey, if you can build the station, the trains, we'll just move our businesses there.
Meron kaming tinatawag na transit-oriented development, saka land value capture. Ang ginagawa namin dyan is may mga areas along our alignment. We are building 1,500 kilometers of rail systems. And yung mga kung saan, ang transit time kasi ng tao, it only makes sense for him to go to where he works and where he lives within 55 minutes. Kung hindi niya maaabot yon, it's not viable. So, ang namin, the Greater Capital Region, hiniwa namin into, our concept of distance kasi is time, which is 55 minutes. So, yung 55 minutes na yun, doon nilalagay ng mga bagong townships doon. So doon magpupuntahan yung mga tao. So in our case, like the North-South Commuter, ang magiging is areas like Calamba and Malolos. Wala pang urban sprawl dyan, marami pang lupa dyan. And then dyan tinutulungan namin yung local government for transit-oriented development, just like in Japan and other countries.
Yeah, like
so ina-adapt na po natin yan.
Yung San Miguel, the new Manila International Airport, yung project ng San Miguel,
Yes.
is there going to be an alignment or meron bang involvement ng PNR o DOTR doon?
Actually, meron, pero I cannot disclose it to you because at this point, ano ba siya, in discussion. It's part of the
Oo,
unsolicited process.
oo,
But
hindi,
they are. Actually, marami.
pasensya ka na, GM, kasi sa akin parang common sense lang, 'di ba? Eh kung
Exactly.
may
Yeah.
kung may airport sa isang lugar, doon sa Tokyo, sa Kansai, sa Hong Kong, nagawa sila ng island, gumawa silang airport, next thing you know, gumawa sila ng train. So I'm just assuming, but I will respect the need for
Actually, ang
confidentiality.
problema na nga namin ngayon, because of urban sprawl, because of GCR, and this new railway projects, ang
Oh.
problema namin, baka yung food basket hindi na sa Central Luzon. Baka maging Cagayan Valley na. So we're talking about building a tunnel na all the way to Cagayan Valley para mas mura yung cost of transport ng bigas. And they will be the new rice bowl of the country, di ba? So yun
Yeah.
na yung mga direksyon ng pinag-iisipan namin. But that's 10 years, 20 years down the line. But kailangan na pagplanuhan ngayon eh. Or else nobody's gonna implement it kung hindi namin magawa yung viability and feasibility niya eh.
Tsaka kung hindi pinag-uusapan at hindi nagustuhan, hindi mangyayari. Panguling
Exactly.
tanong ko na lang, yung sa Clark, lagi ko na lang nadidinig, train to Clark, train to Clark, pero kasi nakakulong ako din eh. Meron na bang train to Clark?
Wala pa, wala pa. Pero nag-umpisa na yung construction namin. We just awarded the contract to two companies, doon sa Clark tsaka yung doon sa depot niya. In the next few weeks, i-award na rin namin yung contracts between Kalumpit to San Fernando and San Fernando to Clark. And then meron kaming part na ngayon which is from Kalumpit Malolos to Tutuban. Magbibid out na rin kami soon from from Solis to Blumentritt all the way to Makati and all the way to Calamba. So gagawin namin lahat yan before the president steps down in 2022.
Will that be all commuter trains or meron ka na ring provision for cargo? Kasi marami nagsasabi dapat magkaroon na tayo ng cargo trains para mabawasan itong mga truck na pumapasok sa Metro Manila.
May cargo initiative na kami as early as now. But that system that we're building, it's a metro grade system, meaning it should be able to carry at its maximum capacity 1 million commuters in 2 hours.
Okay.
In either direction. So it's a metro grade system. Yun na yung naging problema natin with MRT3. That's the busiest corridor. That's a 2 million passenger corridor, pero hindi nagawa ng metro grade system. Yung metro grade system is a train with 8 or 10 cars, mahaba yung platform. Ito, ang ginawa lang natin sa EDSA was 3 cars. So we have to live with that. It's a 600,000 system. It's a light to medium metro system lang. And it would keep breaking down because we're loading it up with metro grade capacity.
Ayun. Anyway, it's good to know that we have a person who knows what he's talking about. He's got a plan for the future. And thank you for all the information you gave us today. I'm sure medyo, kumbaga maalis naman tayo dito sa COVID na ito. Parang pag-usapan na natin ang kinabukasan, lalo na yung paglaya ko. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, GM Junn. Have a good day and please stay in touch.
And I will.
Okay,
Thank
yan
you.
po si GM Junn Magno ng Philippine National Railways. At marami siyang nakwento. Alam niyo, magkakaroon train papuntang Clark, train papuntang sa New Manila International Airport San Miguel, gusto may Bulacan. Pagkatapos meron na ngayon meron pa rin din sa Calamba, etc. Trains, we cannot live without them. And we are happy that kahit pa paano, slow na bagal, okay lang. Pero at least, in fairness, noon po, yung mga nakikita natin a few years back, mga panahon yung tayo na-shooting doon sa General Luna. Diba? Pero ngayon, at least modern na. Parang mukha ng hapon yung ating mga train. Anyway, we'll go for a quick break. And when we come back, we'll talk about other concerns here on Agenda. Okay, you're back here on Agenda, and I do hope I have audio because apparently we had a little technical problem there earlier. And I have to apologize to all of you. Pagpasensya na po ninyo ang Kuya Cito ngayong umaga. Talagang ewan ko ba. May construction kasi akong ginagawa sa baba, kanya maalikabok. And syempre, ewan ko, ganun na yata buhay ng tumatanda. By the way, before I go to our next topic and our next guest, I just want to share a little recent discovery para po sa inyo mga may farm, nakatira sa probinsya o kaya ay nagdedepende, umaasa sa tubig na nanggagaling sa balon, sa deep well, okay? Hindi po yung mga nawasa, etc. Mag-ingat po tayo. kasi meron po akong recent discovery. Kasi mga dalawa, tatlong taon na napansin ko dun sa aming maliit na farm sa Lipa, para bang medyo yung mga manok, may mga ibang manok na lagi na lang na namamatay. Okay? Tapos may mga ibang napansin ako, mga baboy na nagkakaroon ng kung pantal-pantal, sakit, etc. And finally, this year, medyo lumala yung sitwasyon. Kasi marami kang mapoproduce na manok, pagkatapos magtutumbahan, nakakapikon ho, no? Lahat ginawa na namin. Puro kami gamot, nag-probiotic na kami, nag-antibiotic na kami, gumamit na kami na first class na bimig na pagkain. Ito po yung problema, tubig. Yung aming deep well, aming pinatesting ko yung tubig. Nako, pinatesting nung aming veterinaryo si Doc Carlo Ilagan ng Bimeg. Sabi, Kuyang, hindi po masay yung tubig mo. Pale, lahat. May E. coli, ganito, ganyan, ganyan. And iisipin nyo, dati nang maganda tubig din eh. Pero hindi po, no? With population growth, with animals, more and more people in the area, lalo na sa probinsya na yung mga septic tank, mga Poso Negro, diretso rin naman sa lupa yung tagas niyan, yung tubig niyan. So maapektuhan yung tubig sa ilalim. So ako po, ayan, na-discover ko. So ipatesting nyo yung tubig nyo kung kayo nagsususpecha, nag-aalala. Kasi yung pong mga sakit na nakukuha sa ganyan, pwedeng masira yung bato, urinary tract infection, yung mga sa tao, at sa mga hayop, marami yung mga laging namamatay. So ako, itong ginawa ko, padala ako ng UV lights, tapos magpapalagay ng chlorinator, etc. Yung mga plastic na lulutang-lutang, lalagyan mo lang ng chlorine cake, lulutang-lutang na yun doon sa tangke para may gamot yung tubig nyo. Okay, so ayun po, no, paalala lang sa inyo kasi alam ko marami tayong mga kaibigan sa probinsya na nanonood. Ipatest nyo ang tubig nyo kung kayo ay may duda. Kasi ako, 3 taon bago ko na-realize yun, ay pag kinumpute ko na lahat yung natepo ko mga hayop, mabuti na lang walang taong umiinom ng tubig na yun kasi meron namang bottled water na nagsusupply. Kung hindi, baka may natigok na sa mga kasama natin. Okay, next topic we have is pornography. Okay, bakit kamo? Ito po, no? Assistant Majority Leader and Rizal Representative Congressman Juan Fidel Nograles recently filed a bill seeking amendment to Republic Act 9775 or the Anti-Child Pornography Act. This aims to strengthen country's campaign against child pornography following reported increase of child abuse cases amid COVID-19 pandemic. Nograles specifically seeks to amend Section 9 of RA 975, which the Philippine Chamber of Telecom Operators said has been preventing them from blocking child pornography websites, etc. Existing provisions allows internet service providers to install software that could block access to and transmittal of child pornography and notify authorities within 7 days of detection. Sa madaling salita, may mga paraan kung paano matitigil yung online child pornography. Napag-isip-isipan ko lang po, bakit yun lang? Bakit hindi natin gawing issue yung pornography per se? Kasi parang legal ba ang pornography sa Pilipinas? Di ba? Tapos sasabihin, kuyang ano ka ba naman siyempre may kanya-kanya ng taste yan, kanya-kanya ng lifestyle yan. Ito po problema yung lifestyle mo, nagdidikta sa buhay naman ng asawa mo, ng mga anak mo, at sa mga ibang tao, pati sa kumpanya mo. Kung talagang pasaway ka, o kaya ikaw masyado kang mael, nako po, anong mangyari? Mamimerwisyo ka. So in any case, I just felt that we should address the topic. We should ask someone to explain to us, bakit ba ganun? Bakit parang major concern. Even in the developed countries, actually more so in the developed countries, kung saan masyadong marami silang free time, masyadong maganda ang kanilang internet service, pagkatapos, ayun, doon nila pinaglalaanan ng pansin yung buhay nila sa pornography. Let's interview a former guest on agenda. He is a registered psychologist, a forensics neuropsychologist, and a brain compliance learning specialist. Let's call on Dr. Danilo Tuazon. Doc, nandiyan ka na ba? Aba, nako, may problema. Mukhang Doc Dan, are you there?
Hello.
Doc Dan.
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, pero mukhang wala yung video mo
Biglang nawala.
Sandali, ayusin daw ng ating team yan. I-check lang natin. Okay, let's see what happens there. Nako po, mga kaibigan, pagpasensyahan nyo na kung papatay-patay yung aking microphone, etc. Kasi talaga namang itong sipon na ito ay nakakaperwisyo. Excuse me. Okay, yan. Feeling better. Yung po kasing issue nito ng pornography, medyo binigyan pansin kasi parang napapahiya na yata yung iba nating mga leaders na yung Pilipinas talagang binibisita ng primarily by the United States and some other international groups and pointing out na ano ba ang nangyayari dyan sa Pilipinas. Pambihira naman. Ang dami niyong nakle-claim to glory pero tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang child pornography. Ang ano dyan, ang issue, ano ba talaga ito? Tsaka child pornography lang ba? Dahil lang tayo ay production plant ng child pornography or should we address this as a bigger problem? Doc Dan, are you there already? Dr. Danilo Tuazon?
Yes.
Ayun. Okay,
Good morning po. Ohayo gozaimasu.
Okay. Doc Dan, could you share with us your knowledge or at least observation mo? Kasi parang nagtataka ako, ang binibigyan pansin, yung pagpo-produce ng cyber pornography ng mga bata, pero hindi ina-address yung pornography as a whole in society.
Okay, gusto kong balikan ang animal model for sexuality. This is a classical experiment, late 50s, na-discover ng mga scientists ni Olds at Milner na kapag bigyan mo ng chance ang isang animal na i-press ang isang lever, stimulating his brain, controlling sexuality, wala na siyang gagawin kundi stimulate yung brain niya para may sexual arousal at the same time sexual satisfaction. This part of the DNA of animals and humans. Napaka-strong po ng sex drive ng tao at ng animals. Gagawin ito lahat ng bagay upang matugunan ang pangangailangan sexually. Based on studies, ang tao ay papatay dahil sa sex. Ang tao ay mamamatay dahil sa sex. Ang tao will cheat and will lie because of sex. Lahat gagawin. It's very powerful drive ng tao na kailangan natin na ayusin. Tumutugon tayo sa sexualidad because of pornography right now. Una-una, napakadali ng access. The ease of access. Hindi katulad ng mga bata tayo, Cito, di ba? Pag kailangan mo ng pornography, dapat ay pumunta ka muna sa Cinerama, yung bilihan sa Recto, at bibili ka ng bedtime story. Kailangan pag-ipunan mo ito upang makakuha ka ng pornographic material.
Doon na nga nagbago mundo, Doc Dan kasi noon yung BTS pornography. Ngayon, BTS, Korean, Korean group.
Oo, no? So, mahirap kunin yung pornographic material dati. Kailangan pag-ipunan mo, kailangan mataas ang iyong kumpiyansa para bumili, no? Hindi basta-basta sinong bata lang pwedeng bumili. Yun ang o kaya ay hahanapin mo yung pornographic material ng tatay mo o yung kuya mo. So in terms of access, mas mabilis ngayon ang access, madali at libre pa. Pag may cellphone ka lang, ay may access ka na. Plus, merong privacy. Basta may privacy ang isang bata, magtago lang siya. Kaya tingnan niyo po nyo, no? Kung ang inyong anak ay nagtatago, ibig sabihin, meron siyang ginagawang misteryo. So, ito yung problema sa pornography, no? In fact, Hitler used pornography in order to invade other countries, no? Freelad niya ng pornographic material ang Poland upang sakupin ang Poland. Alam ni Hitler na nakaka-weaken ng moralidad. Nakaka-weaken yan ng solidarity ng tao. Nakaka-weaken na unity kapag may pornographic material kasi napaka-basic instinct nito na pinupukaw nito ang napaka-malalim nating damdamin na pwede i-control tayo. Kaya ngayon, ang panukalang pangbata lang or limitahan ang bata ay hindi dapat bata lamang. Dapat lahat ng pornographic material should be regulated. Ayusin po natin alamin po natin ang animal model, alamin po natin ang history ng pornographic material. Bakit ito ginagamit at bakit ito ay hindi maganda
Doc Dan, meron ka na bang mga kaso or mga pasyente you handled that had struggles with pornography and what is the impact of pornography in their lives and their family?
Marami akong kaso mga teenagers saka young adults, no? Hooked sa pornography. Maraming impact. Unang-una, bakit sila nagsisik ng pornographic material? Unang-una, it's same model for addiction ang pornography. People become addict and drug addiction is similar. Pareho ang pattern niya, no? When you go back to the brain, pareho ang reward system, reward pattern, reward flow ng chemical na nag-stimulate sa atin o nagbibigay sa atin ng ganyo kung bakit nagsisik ang isang lalaki o yung isang teenager ng pornographic material. And usually, there is no connection with the family. The belongingness, no? Naghahanap siya ng belongingness and hindi niya makuha yung satisfaction sa pamilya. Kaya maghahanap siya ng isang bagay na maaaring makatugon sa pangangailangan ng, when I say pangangailangan, this is brain pressure and brain default. So yan ang first condition, no? Question about belongingness, question about family issues, walang connection sa pamilya, kaya naapektuhan siya o nagsisik siya ng pornographic material. Second, malababa ang self-esteem nitong mga bata ng kabataan. Low self-esteem, low self-confidence, which leads to depression, leads to anxiety. Maraming issues, psychological issues, ang mga taong, yung profile ng mga taong nagiging addict sa pornographic material. Hindi lang bata ang addict sa pornographic material, no? Because it is a very very sensitive area in human behavior. Hindi lang bata, kundi pati mga matatanda. Kung ang inyong asawa ay nagtatago at palaging wala sa tabi nyo at malayo ang kanyang damdamin, magduda na po kayo na siya po ay hook sa pornography. Alalayan po natin, no? That because of privacy, may privacy na mabilis na magtago because of the cellphone. Kaya ang rule namin sa bahay, wala kaming private area na pwede kang magtago for your cellphone. dapat lahat nakikita kung anong ginagawa mo. It's open, no? And comment section, if you want to do your computer work, lahat dapat pwedeng sumilip. Kaya yung mga lalaki o yung mga kalalakihan na tinatago ang kanyang cellphone, may password, magduda na po kayo na addict na ito sa pornography. Walang audio. There's no
Okay,
audio.
wait a minute. Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, quick question lang kasi paubos yung oras natin. You were saying this affects even couples na kasi pag may pornography, parang nagkakaroon ng replacement yung actual partner. Paano itong, alam mo, meron ako noon, montik ko ng batukan sa inis ko talaga inuutusan ba naman yung anak niya na babae na siya pa yung, mamaya pag galing mo sa office, ibili mo ako nung ganitong magazine, ha? Nung nalaman ko, talagang gusto kong dalawin yung tatay at sapukin, Parang, hello, walang hiya ka naman sobra na pati pa yung anak mong babae ang uutusan mo para ibili yung gagawan mo ng kasalanan.
Yung sa neuroscience kasi merong rewiring ng brain. Ano ibig sabihin ng rewiring? Nagbabago ang kalakaran ng ating utak. Kala natin na kapag nawawala ang intimacy, no? Nasasanay ka sa pornographic material, particularly virtual sex, tuloy nakikita mo mas madali ang lumigaya through virtual sex. Isang click lang ng button sa computer ay meron ka ng ka-partner. At marami ka na nakikitang, kasi ang lalaki, very visual siya, no? The brain is biased for visual materials. Kaya yung babae hindi masyadong hook sa pornography kasi masyado siyang oral, kailangan mong bula-bulahin ang babae, kailangan niya makarinig na siya ay maganda para may stimulate. Pero ang lalaki, kailangan niya makita. Kaya ito, no? Habang nakikita niya, ay nag-change ang kanyang brain wiring. Tuloy, nawawala na ang damdamin niya sa kanyang asawa. So it's not healthy for couples to be watching pornographic material, pornographic films. No? Dati, mga psychologists, clinical psychologists, ina-advise nila, you want to increase your sexual appetite or intimacy, watch pornographic material together. Ito po yung maling advice, no? From neuroscience, no? Binabago nito ang kalakaran ng utak ng tao, ang utak ng lalaki. Kaya nakakatakot po. Tuloy na-excite ng lalaki sa paghawak ng cellphone. Na-excite ng isang teenager sa kanyang cellphone, ayaw niya na manligaw. Dahil mahal daw manligaw, mahal pang bumili ng bulaklak at tsokolate, mas madaling lumigaya through pornographic material, pornographic video.
Okay.
Ganyan ang kalakaran ngayon.
Okay, well, we will continue this discussion, Doc Dan, in another time. Pero maraming salamat po dyan sa mga gems na binigay mo kasi maraming tao hindi na-realize that it affects your intimacy, it rewires your brain, it basically changes you, and it is more of an animalistic behavior than what we would consider a human. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Dan Tuazon.
Welcome.
Okay, yan po si Dr. Dan Tuazon, and from there we will have to call it a day, and we thank you for joining us. And if medyo bitin kayo doon sa conversation, yun lang po payo ko sa inyo, no? Pornography can ruin your life, ruin your values, and I'm not playing saint here or not playing holy. I have been a victim of pornography, from a young age all the way through my adult life. I had pornography, and it was only when I had accepted the Lord, I surrendered my life to the Lord, that I just got rid of all of that trash, and I discovered intimacy. I discovered the value of holding hands, of what kissing was really supposed to be, and respect for women. Late in life na, but at least na-save ako, nabago ako, and I would not want for you guys out there to destroy your marriage, make people around you unhappy, and ultimately lose respect for the things that matter. Please take care of yourselves. Think about what we just talked about, and may you have a great day. That's agenda for you today.